Kizamde, hop on the beat!
Thus Spoke Kishibe Rohan is a spin-off manga series created by Hirohiko Araki in 1997. It follows the Part 4 character Rohan and his encounters with various supernatural phenomena. It has received an OVA adaptation starting in 2017, which I've covered in a previous video. It has also gotten an anthology of original short stories written by people other than Araki. In 2020, it received its newest edition, a 3-episode live-action TV drama. The David Production anime adaptations of JoJo that we're used to stick extremely close to the source material, with some minor additions or omissions being present. In this case, however, the TV drama takes plenty of liberties in how it adapts the material. It also establishes a storyline between the episodes, when they were originally almost purely episodic. In this video, I'll be going over the major and minor things that were changed in this adaptation. The first episode is based on Millionaire Village, the 3rd chapter of the manga. The first major difference comes with a completely new opening scene, which shows 2 burglars breaking into Rohan's house. We get a never-before-seen look at a page of Rohan's manga, Pink Dark Boy, here. The art was done by the artist Aoki Masahiko, with a rough draft of the page provided by Araki himself. The scene ends with Rohan using Heaven's Door on the burglars. If you read the text on the burglar's page, we can see that it mentions a memory he has of Hazamada ordering a pizza from Tonio in the middle of class. Stand abilities are not referred to as stands in this version. They are instead called Blessings from Heaven or Gifts. The company Shueisha is referred to by name pretty often in the manga, but in the TV drama, the name is changed to Shumeisha. We have a new scene of Rohan meeting his editor Kyoka Izumi for the first time. When she was introduced in the manga, the two already knew each other. Izumi is now a recurring character, who appears in all 3 stories. Originally, she was only present in Millionaire Village. In the scene of Rohan meeting Izumi, he is doing his finger stretches, which he does in a few different chapters in the manga. There's a new scene where Izumi meets up with her boyfriend at a cafe. Originally, her boyfriend was nameless and only mentioned, but now he has been given the name Taro. He's introduced as someone who was previously in a car accident and has gotten amnesia. He is also now the one who does the research into the village for Izumi. Izumi is now shown to have a dog named Maron, or Chestnut. The next scene is Rohan and Izumi discussing a one-shot that Rohan needs to make, and her convincing him to come with her to the village. This was originally the first scene in the manga. Also, it took place at a cafe, but now it's at Rohan's house. When Izumi goes over the different residents of the village, she lists their professions. Originally, she goes over 4 different people, but in the TV drama, she only mentions 1 out of the 11 residents. His profession is also different from any of the ones shown in the manga. Izumi's reasons for wanting to buy the villa are slightly altered, since she now also wants to purchase it to support her boyfriend. There's a new scene of Taro saying goodbye to Izumi before she heads to the village. Rohan and Izumi's hike to the village is extended, with more looks at the scenery. There's a new scene of them resting, where Rohan mentions that the forest is considered a sacred and taboo location. This is foreshadowing the involvement of the mountain gods later in the story. The butler of the village, Ikkyu, now has dark hair instead of the light hair he had previously. Rohan now displays proper manners when taking off his shoes. In the manga, Izumi had to remind him to do this. Originally, Izumi was rejected from buying the villa after she made 3 breaches of manners. The first was when she sat in the seat of honor located across from the entrance. It is proper manners to sit in the lower seats before the host arrives. The second was when she stepped on the borders of the tatami mat when entering the room. And the third was improperly holding the teacup. In the TV drama, she only messes up one of these, the teacup. When Rohan and Izumi enter the room, they actually sit in the correct seats and properly switch seats once Ikkyu enters the room. They also directly mention this rule to each other. In the manga, Rohan and Izumi find a baby bird on the road and decide to keep it with them until they find the nest. The bird was later shown to be dead as a result of Izumi retrying the test. At the end of the story, it was revived. In the TV drama, the bird is omitted entirely. When Izumi retries the test, she loses 1 thing for each breach of manners she committed. Since in the manga she breached manners 3 times, the baby bird, her mother, and her boyfriend are affected. In the TV drama, she only breached manners once, so she receives a call that her dog is sick. Her phone going off is now considered a second breach of manners, which results in Taro getting hit by a car. This time, her mother is not included at all. Izumi now tries to run away, but Rohan uses Heaven's Door on her to put her to sleep to prevent her from breaking any more rules. Izumi, along with some other characters in the TV drama, have a unique look to their Heaven's Door pages. Izumi's is made to look like a fashion magazine featuring herself. In the manga, Ikkyu leaves the room for a bit after Izumi requests to try again. In the drama, he remains in the room the whole time. Originally, Rohan used Heaven's Door on Ikkyu immediately after he re-entered the room. In the drama, he does it slightly later after he puts Izumi to sleep. In the manga, when Rohan broke the rules by using Heaven's Door, the thing precious to him that he lost was Izumi, who has a heart attack. Instead, in the drama, Rohan's right hand becomes unusable, which would prevent him from drawing manga. Now, when Rohan is told he may leave, he uses his iconic catchphrase to refuse. During the scene with the corn, Rohan does make the right choice to eat it with his hands, but is now doing it improperly since he can only use one hand. Although this would normally be considered a breach, it is forgiven since Ikkyu committed the greater breach of trying to make Rohan fail. A new element of the story is Rohan repeatedly alluding to the British royal family, saying that he would be able to hold his presence in front of them. Later, he tells Ikkyu an anecdote about the royal family, where a guest unknowingly drank from the water glass that was meant for washing your fingers. Instead of punishing them, the queen copied them so they wouldn't feel ashamed. Rohan uses this to show that Ikkyu is the one actually being impolite. Taro is now shown waking up from his accident after Rohan and Izumi are forgiven. In the manga, it was indirectly shown that Izumi's boyfriend and mother were okay, since the baby bird was revived. There's a new scene of Ikkyu crying while Rohan laughs at him. Originally, the story ended on the way home through the woods. The drama goes a bit farther by showing Rohan and Izumi arrive back home. There's another new scene of one of the burglars from the beginning in jail. Rohan learns that he was a fan of Pink Dark Boy, so he sends him volumes to read. The second episode is based on Kushagara, one of the short stories that wasn't written by Araki. The story has thankfully also been translated by Onkei, the same person who did the subtitles. I will link to the story in the description. There's a new opening scene showing a professor who dies after becoming obsessed with the word Kushagara. He dies holding a book which is titled Chocolata's Operatic Orthopedics, as a reference to the Part 5 character. We get a short scene of Rohan afterwards learning about it in the newspaper. The newspaper mentions Yoshikage Kira, although it's not possible to see the full article. There's a short scene of Izumi entering Rohan's house to find that he isn't there. Izumi was normally not present in the story at all, but she now has a minor role. In the original story, it was said that Rohan was at Café du Magu, the cafe that the Part 4 characters often visited. In the drama, the name of the cafe is not mentioned. The conversation between Rohan and Jugo at the cafe is mostly the same. As with any adaptation from text to live action, some narration is lost. In the original story, it was said that Jugo reminded Rohan of Josuke and Okuyasu, since he finds him just as annoying. When Jugo is speaking about his previous editor, he mentions their shared taste in movies. In the short story, he actually mentions the movie, which is Home Alone 3. Also only in the short story, he mentions that the editor liked the band Michelle Gun Elephant. In the short story, Rohan mentions that an editor of his gave him a sticker of the Kinnikuman character, Curry Cook. In the short story, Jugo's old editor was promoted, and his new editor was the one who gave him the taboo word list. In the drama, Jugo's old editor gave him the list, and then disappeared. When going over the list of taboo words, Jugo mentions that the word for death by electrocution is banned, out of respect for a recent death. In the TV drama, the actual method of death is not mentioned at all. Jugo's appearance in the drama is quite different from how he was described in the story. Originally, he had dyed red hair, shaved hair on the sides, and pierced eyelids. Jugo now pays for Rohan's drink as he leaves. There's also a brief appearance of Izumi at the cafe, which was not present before. The short story shows more of Jugo searching for the meaning of Kushagara. The drama places more focus on Rohan searching for the word. After the cafe scene, there is another new scene of Rohan and Izumi going to his house. She also brings up how Jugo's old editor is missing. In this same scene, Rohan rules out whether Kusagara is a mistype, which was not gone over in the story. In the short story, Jugo mentions that he tried to Google the meaning of the word. In the drama, we see him do this, but the name of Google is changed to Jugal. There's a new scene of Izumi and Taro where they talk about his past before the accident. In the short story, there was a time skip of 1 month before Rohan meets Jugo again. In the drama, the time skip is 1 week. Originally, Rohan visited the bookstore casually and found Jugo arguing with the shopkeeper inside. The short story includes a small mention of Ken Oyanagi from Part 4. In the drama, Rohan specifically goes there to research Kusagara, and Jugo arrives shortly after. During the scene in the alley, Rohan originally punches Jugo. In the TV drama, he stops his fist right in front of him. The drama adds a ton of scenes after the fight in the alleyway. The drama has Rohan bringing Jugo back to rest in his studio. On the way out, he pays a pizza delivery man to bring a pizza to Jugo. After this, there was another new scene of Izumi at Rohan's house, where she mentions finding Jugo's editor. During this scene, Jugo shows up with the pizza that was ordered. The pizza box in the scene also says that it came from Tonio's restaurant. This scene finally results in Rohan seeing the creature in Jugo's throat and using Heaven's Door on him. That entire sequence is completely original to the drama. In the original story, Rohan notices the creature while they're in the alleyway and uses Heaven's Door there. The short story places more emphasis on Jugo starting to mix Kusagara into his sentences. It also makes it clear that the creature inside of him is actually the one saying it. The drama has him do this less, and there's no specific reason given as to why. The short story describes the sealed pouch as having black handprints on it. In the drama, it is simply black. In the original story, after Rohan erases Jugo's memory, Jugo simply dismisses what is happening and heads back home. In the drama, Jugo is confused as to why he's at Rohan's house, and Rohan makes up a story that he was sharing a manga idea with him. Izumi is now also present here, having re-entered the house after Jugo was cured. Rohan explains away what happened by saying he used hypnosis, which Izumi remembers for the next episode. The short story showed more of Jugo dealing with the effects of the memory wipe, like being confused at being told that he had never met with his new editor. Since he apparently never met the new editor, it is kept a mystery who exactly he got the taboo word list from. In the drama, instead, the old editor gave him the list in order to be cured from the Kusagara parasite. The drama has a new scene of Jugo finding the list again and instantly throwing it away. The story ends with a message that the word Kusagara is actually a placeholder for the real taboo word, edited for the reader's safety. The drama has changed this to reflect that it is no longer a written story by saying the TV channel has replaced the word. The third story is DNA, based on another one of the manga chapters. However, this adaptation is extremely different compared to the other two. The original story only featured Rohan for a small portion, so the story is largely reworked to fit him throughout its entirety. The story now also prominently features Izumi, who was never present originally. The beginning of the story is the same, showing Mai and her husband in the car crash. Mai's husband is given the name Akira in the drama. The husband was shown to have various quirks, which include scratching the side of his head, sticking out his tongue, and using his pinky to open up his drinks. In the drama, the scratching is the only thing that's shown. The original chapter had Yukiko introducing Rohan to her friend Mai to help cure her daughter. Yukiko is completely omitted in the TV drama, and the way that Rohan meets Mai and decides to help is now completely different. There's a new scene towards the beginning of the drama which shows the inside of Mai's house. Another new scene shows Rohan in his house with Izumi while he's playing with dice. He's trying to come up with a new idea for a story about miracles, while Izumi repeatedly tries to get him to make the story about Taro. A couple more new scenes lead to a moment where Rohan, Izumi, Taro, Mai, and Mao all cross paths. Mao tugs on Taro's shirt, causing him to fall, and this is now how the characters meet each other. There are multiple new scenes at the hospital where Taro is getting examined, where they establish Mai's profession as an interior decorator, have Izumi tell Mai that Rohan is a hypnotherapist, and show how Izumi and Taro first met. The drama then has Izumi and Rohan visit Mai at her house, which leads to her asking Rohan to cure Mao. Originally, Yukiko was the one who asked Rohan to help at the beginning of the story. Mao's odd features have been changed from the manga. Originally, she had thick eyelashes at the bottom of her eyes, spoke backwards, had silent footsteps, had wet feet wherever she walked, and had a small tail which allows her to camouflage. In the drama, her only oddities are that she talks backwards, likes to burrow into things, and has different colored eyes. She can also turn invisible, but there's no mention of a tail. In the manga, Mai knew that Mao could camouflage, while in the drama, she's surprised by it. In the original story, Rohan used Heaven's Door normally on Mao. In the drama, instead of opening up like a book, she completely turns into a book. This also happens to the other characters later, so this is seemingly a regular ability of Heaven's Door in the drama. The drama has Rohan mentioning that he has never read a kid before. This is not said in the manga, but it would also not be true there, since Rohan had previously read Ken and Hayato in Part 4. The scene of Rohan reading Mao originally took place in a park. In the drama, it happens in Mai's house. At the park in the manga, you can also spot the Angelo rock in the background. In the drama, Mai was pregnant with Mao before the accident. In the original story, Mai went to a sperm donor to have Mao. After Rohan refuses to help, Yukiko mentions seeing a description of the father in Heaven's Door. The rest of the story plays out without Rohan appearing until the very end. Mai meets a person who matches the description named Obanazawa, who has all of Mao's features along with the quirks that her late husband had. They end up getting together in the end, with Yukiko telling Rohan how things worked out. In the drama, things play out much differently. During the scene in the house, Mao instead turns invisible and runs away. In the manga, it was said that Mao's tail was like a physical stand ability manifesting from her heart. In the drama, her ability to turn invisible is referred to as a gift, the same way that Rohan refers to Heaven's Door. At another scene in the hospital, it is revealed that Taro's accident was on the same day of the one from the beginning of the story, and that he receives an organ transplant from Mai's husband that saves his life. Taro ends up taking the place of the Obanazawa character. Obanazawa also had an accident where he was dead for a short time, which implies that Mai's late husband may have been reincarnated into him, which would explain his similar quirks. Taro was also dead for a short time, and the organ transplants apparently caused the soul of Mai's husband to become a part of him. Taro also has these same quirks from the husband, including his favorite drink, a sweet canned coffee. This is foreshadowed throughout the previous episodes where he is shown putting sugar into his drinks. The end of the drama has Rohan and Izumi talking about how Taro got together with Mai. Overall, I very much enjoyed the TV drama. Pretty much everything about it was good, which is uncommon for live-action adaptations. I found the new additions and changes to be interesting, and what was adapted straight was done well. I enjoyed the way that the Izumi character was fleshed out, and this has turned a relatively obscure JoJo character into a fan favorite overnight. It's also interesting to see one of the non-Araki short stories adapted, since many of them have interesting premises. The complete reworking of the DNA story was also done quite well. The fact that the story will likely still receive a straightforward OVA adaptation makes me welcome the radically different interpretation that the TV drama provided. I very much enjoyed the performances, especially Issei Takahashi as Rohan. The actor says that he's been a fan of Rohan for a long time, and it shows. Unlike most live-action adaptations, the TV drama managed to capture the great things about the original. I was impressed by what they managed to do in these 3 episodes, and I hope they end up making more. With some consideration, I have decided to revamp my Discord channel. You can join the new and improved Haman Beat Discord using the link in the description. The current server will be deleted after a short time. If you want to receive rewards like Discord perks and access to some uncut versions of my music reference videos, you can support the channel on Patreon. Thank you for watching. This is the part of the video where I thank my $5 and up patrons. Thank you to Norden the Lich, Alex Ramirez, Raziana, Anasui Hat, Doorbell, Cloudy, Monkman, Ashton Joseph Miller, Crayon, Jesper Jansen, Austin Nino, and Zucato.